Hi everybody, it's Monica Braxton, aka the Needle Arts Goddess. We're back today to go over and to learn Tubular Peyote even count. So this is what a tubular pattern looks like. You're going to see these diagonal lines going through the pattern. Those are called the step-up points. Now the step-up points alternate every row, and I'm going to show you how to adjust for that every row. And just like other patterns, you're going to start with your picking up your beads for the first and second rows, bottom to second row first and the first, all the way over. And normally with even count we would turn around and go here and start going back this way. Well, that's not the case with tubular peyote. We're going to go in a circle, so what we're going to do is once we pick up this, we're going to swing around to the other side and we're going to start on row 3. And I'll show you that in just a moment. Now this class is actually for Thursday, May 7th at 2015 at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. If you want to attend the class and have not yet gotten an invitation to one of my classes, my email address is nags3153@gmail.com. You can send me an email. I'll send you an invitation to the class. It's got a link and it's got the password to it. Now, if you've already received one in the past, you don't need to get another one. Once is all you need. So what we're going to do here, I've already loaded the rows 1 and 2 on the for the pattern. So on here I'm going to start with the first stitch of the third row, and that's going to be the one where you see the square, and that's what we're going to call a step up, and I'll explain that in just a moment. What we're going to do is we have our beads loaded, so we're going to make a circle, and we're going to go back through the first bead of the second row again. And as I've told you every time, this is not any different. The third row is always the most difficult to do. You've got to make sure you keep everything adjusted and everything aligned correctly. So you see that right there? We went through the first stitch, the first bead on the second row, and now we're going to start the third bead, and that's going to be another B bead. So again, we're just going to skip one bead, go through the next one, and we're going to make the little Y. This one might look a little upside down at this point. There's a little Y there to show us that we're on the right path, if you can see that right there. And then we're going to continue on an A bead, and go through that bead again. And you want to pull it kind of snug. You don't want to pull it super tight at this point because you're still working with trying to move the beads around, but you do want to have a little bit of pretty good tension on there. So what I'm going to do for the instant time is when we're going through, we've gotten the third row on. However, when we start the fourth row, you'll notice on our pattern that once we finish the third row, our step up is at this E bead right here. But we've already completed row 3. So what do we do with this bead here on the fourth row? You're not going to work it before you work the step up. You're going to work it at the end. Now, other thing I want you to notice is step up will change every single row. So this is your starting point, and you're going to go around, and then you're going to pick up the beads coming this direction. So in the interest of time, I've already completed the third row. And I just want to, the third and the fourth rows. And I just want to show you here where we pick this up, and then I'll show you what a step up looks like as well. So I've completed the fourth row, and now I need to come back and finish that E right there, that E bead right there. So, pick up my needle. I've got my work here, and I want you to see what it looks like. If we can kind of zoom in on this a little bit. I know the colors are a little off and it might be a little difficult to see, but this is our step up. If you can see, there's the gap that goes for the E bead right here, or that letter E bead, and then you would normally just go through this bead, but a step up, you go through here and then you get a step up to the next row. In this case we're stepping down because we're starting from the top to the bottom, but we're stepping down. But if you see that, that's where the needle will go. And let me get that E bead on here. So I'm finishing that, the last bead of the fourth row. And now I'm stepping up to start the fifth row. And if you can see, when you see your tail, that's the start of the project. But this has moved here, and it's going to move every single time. I don't want you to think that you have to double back and start back at the beginning again. You're going to continue to go in a tubular fashion, and then it'll catch up with itself every time. Okay, so here we would start our next row here with another E bead. I'm sorry. We've got, yeah, with another E bead. So here, then we stepped up to this bead right here. So here, no, we're going to start with the B bead right here. I'm sorry. I've been really sick and my brain is off a little bit today. But so what we do this time is put our E bead through, or our B bead through rather, and then we're going to continue on to our row. And again, once we get to the end, we'll do that step up portion. I think, ladies and gentlemen, I picked up the wrong needle. This is what happens when you have two needles working at the same time for two different projects. I picked up the wrong needle. How funny is that? Once again, mistakes happen. None of us are perfect. So if you make a mistake, just take it out. And we're going to go over that again another time about taking out mistakes and how we do that. That'll be one part of our next lesson. So here we're starting that B bead on the 5th row. And there you put the B bead in, you continue around, and again, this is where we're starting, and we're going to go all the way around, and we're going to come back and we're going to finish by putting that E bead in, and then we're going to step up to the G bead at that point. Another little tip that I want to give you is when you're working with a lot of different bead colors, this one happens to have 7 bead colors, I like to grab a little piece of paper, rip it up, and put the letters for the pattern coinciding with the beads. That way when I'm working, I don't have to think about which color is which. I can just grab the bead that coincides with the letter. Now, if you have any questions, please feel free to email me before class. Again, my email address is nags3153@gmail.com. If this isn't clear, let me know and I'll be happy to review it again. And if you haven't signed up for the class yet and you want to, once again, nags3153@gmail.com. Send me an email and I'll send you an invite. And I will see you Thursday, May 7th, 2015, 8:30 p.m. Have a wonderful day, y'all.